Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Channel, page, platform, wherever you're watching, welcome back. I'm excited to have you here with me. We're doing the 40 days of love. That's right. We're on day 25. Y'all, we have made it more days than we have left to go. Praise the Lord for that, right? Absolutely. If you're new here, my name is Pastor Shakima. I'm excited to be with you guys. Typically, for the last 3 or 4 years, every first of the year, I do a series called The Love Dare, the 40 Days of Love. And I am just talking about things that help our marriage improve. This is specifically for those of you who are struggling in your marriage, those of you who are at the end of your marriage and you're ready to end it all, those of you who just want a closer relationship with your spouse. And so I do this series each year because I think it's helpful. I think it's beneficial. I think marriage is a good thing. I think that marriage is God's idea. I think it's a good idea. And so I just continue to do it until he tells me to do something different. I don't know that I will be teaching anything after this series. We're done the date. We're done Love Day. Valentine's Day, February 14th is the last. That's the last day. Hey now, good to see you. Glad you're here. And I don't know that I'll be teaching anything quite after that, maybe by the summertime. I'm not sure. But anywho, I'm glad you're here today. All right, we're jumping in. This is a good series, y'all. I have enjoyed going through it because even though I'm the facilitator teacher, I still have to go through some of this, all of this, right? I have to apply it to my life because I'm thankful. The Lord spoke to me and he said, Shakima, what you invest in these marriages, you'll reap in your own marriage. And so here I am believing the Lord for my husband, believing the Lord for my marriage. And I need to be able to reap exactly what he says I can. And so I pour into you guys, those of you who come and care to be a part of this. I pour into you. And then I am hopeful that on the back end that I'm going to reap what I have sown, right? Does that make sense? Thank you, Holy Spirit. I am just hopeful that I will reap what I have sown. What I've sown into this is time, it's effort, it's energy, it's cheering you on because I want your marriages to work. I told a friend of mine, I said, sometimes I think I want the marriages to work more than the married people, but listen, I'm here for you. I'm here for all the things, right? And again, marriage is a good idea and it's God's idea. And so because that is the case, I will keep doing this. So you guys do me a favor, like the video, share, subscribe, tap the hearts, do all the things that simply pushes us out into the algorithm. It lets people know we're here, which is what we want to do, right? We want to preach the gospel wherever we get an opportunity. He said, go ye into the world and preach the gospel. This just happens to be my mode of going, right? The Lord spoke to me. He said, you will reach thousands and thousands of people from the comforts of your own home. And can I tell y'all, I was sharing with my kids yesterday and a friend of mine. I'm gonna get to this, but this is important because this is why I do what I do. So I was, the Lord said, you reach thousands and thousands of people from the comforts of your own home. So yesterday, a friend of mine, we were talking about something. He said, you're famous. I said, I'm not famous. He's like, yes, you are. You're famous. I'm like, I am just a simple, ordinary person. Ain't nothing fame about me. And so I'm trying to prove this point that I'm not famous. I began to go and look at some of my old reels and old content. And do y'all know that one of my reels, one of them, just one, had 11 million views, 11.1 million views. That's crazy. How does this have 11.1 million views? And I don't even know where people are viewing from. That's crazy. Another one had 4.5 million. Another had 3.9 million. Another had 1.9 million. That's millions. And then I had some that were in the high 662,000, 385,000. It was just thousands and thousands and thousands of views. I don't have that many friends. You know what I'm saying? So it's always, it boggles my mind how people, want the material that you put out. So for me, this is what I do the most. And this is where I have the least people follow, right? They want all the funny stuff and this is where my bread and butter is. He is good and he's God all the time. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be. So I keep doing this with faithfulness and fidelity. And I pray that whoever needs to hear it. But you should do a favor. Just hit that like, share, all of that just helps people know we're here. That's all. Okay, now let's move in. Day 25. We ain't gonna be here long. I talked too long last night. Y'all did not even tell me that I was talking too long. So again, share the video, invite your friends, tell them to come over here, especially the ones you know are not doing well in their marriage. So today is day 25, and here is no, okay. Here is your dare, or was your dare for today. We don't went over this last night, and this is the dare for today. Whatever you haven't forgiven in your mate, because love is forgiveness. That was yesterday. That was for today. Hello, thank you so much. Whatever you haven't forgiven in your mate, forgive it today. Let it go. Just as we ask Jesus to forgive us our debts each day, we must ask him to help us forgive our debtors each day as well. Unforgiveness has been keeping you and your spouse in prison too long. Say from your heart, I choose to forgive. So today was all about forgiveness. And that's a hard sell. We talked about that last night. That is a hard sell, especially when people have hurt you. And this is the worst one, when they have intentionally hurt you. Sometimes we hurt people and we don't realize what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those omission things, right? We didn't know we were doing it. But when you do it on purpose and you know you're doing it, and your whole MO is to wound, to hurt, and you want me to forgive that, that's a hard sell for me. And for a lot of people, it's a hard pass. It's a hard no. They're like, I'm not doing it. No. But because of who we are in Christ, and because of what Christ did for us on the cross, he pardoned us of everything we would have ever done wrong, everything we did wrong, and y'all, everything we will ever do wrong. He's pardoned us already. And I'm thankful for that. And so because he does that for me, I don't have any other option but to do that for people, right? God extends forgiveness, grace, and mercy towards me. It is my good, reasonable service to extend grace and mercy and forgiveness towards other people. That's what he wants to, for us to do. That's how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to extend everything he does for us, we do for other people. And I know, again, it's not easy, but again, what I said last night is forgiveness does not mean proximity. Forgiveness doesn't mean we got to be BFFs. We might have been BFFs before, and then you stabbed me in the back because you was talking behind my back with some other people. Listen, I forgive you, but we're not going to be together. You're not going to get another one of my secrets ever, because you don't keep your word to not tell anybody. You tell everything you know. So guess what? I'm not going to tell you anything because you're using that to wound me. Forgiveness does not mean proximity. We might have been like this, thicker than thieves. Well, honey, you messed it up. So now we over here. I forgive you, but we over here. That's it. And that's what a lot of people think. If I forgive them, I have to be in that same relationship. The relationship changes for sure. It changes after that betrayal. It changes after that intrusion of whatever the case was. It changes after that stab in the back. It changes after you see your business on Facebook and social media. It changes. It totally changes. And that's okay. As long as in my heart, I know I have forgiven, I'm good. I got to move on. That's all I'm saying. All right. So like the video, tap the screen, do all the things. It just helps push us out. It's good. Tonight, we're talking, it's another hard one as well. We're talking about love is responsible, right? Love is responsible. So here's the thing. This is an apology day, right? Go back and do that marriage evaluation. It will give you so much data. Thank you so much. God bless you. It'll give you so much data, the things that you need to know to help you improve your marriage, right? Your source verses tonight are Romans 2:1, 1 John 1:8, Romans 12:18, Matthew 18:21 and 22, and then James 5:16. Romans 2:1, when you judge another, you condemn yourself, since you, the judge, do the same things, right? Here we are. We want other people to be at fault. We want other people to be wrong, and we don't ever want to take responsibility for the part we played. I wrote in my book, what is my part in all of this, right? The hardest thing that I ever had to learn for myself was that my ex-husband was not at fault alone. I wanted to blame him for everything, especially in the beginning. He did this and he did this and he said, I was just point, because I needed somebody to be wrong. And I was here with the kids. I knew it wasn't me. I am absolved because I didn't do anything wrong. And as I grew and as I laid on the altar with the Lord, I laid on the altar for 3 years, y'all. I didn't do anything except stay on that altar for 3 years. And just ask the Lord to help me, to pour into me, to show me. I prayed this prayer. And if you so bold, you pray it. Lord, show me me. Show me Shakima, because I've done a whole lot of looking at somebody else. I've done a whole lot of figuring out their problems and their issues and how they are bothering me. But show me me. Show me what I've done. Show me where I've been wrong. Show me where I've misstepped. Show me where I've said too much. Show me where I haven't said enough. Show me where I haven't supported. Show me where I've over supported. Show me where I've talked too much. Just show me me. See, if you ask the Lord that prayer, now he's going to do it. But this is the issue you're going to have. You may not want to see you, because you ain't all that is chalked up to be. If I look up here, I have a filter. My skin is smooth, honey. Yes, all the things. If I look over here, it is exactly how I look today. And I didn't put on any makeup. Not today. That may not be the most presentation I want people to see. I like the filter part. This makes everything look right. My eye makeup is good. My skin is flawless. My earrings are popping, all the things. Over here, we know the real truth. So when you ask the Lord to show you who you are, remember, he's going to do it. And you may not want to see who you really are, because we're just as wrong. We're just as ugly. We're just as at fault. It may not be for that particular thing that they did, but we had some part to play in it. He talks about in here, how can a woman expect her husband to go out and financially provide for this family when she irresponsibly spends? She's an Amazonian. She irresponsibly spends money. He's as fast as he can make it, she's spending it. And then she withholds herself from him. There's no intimacy at all. How is that right? That's not right. The Bible is clear. It says, do not be together except for a time of prayer. Other than that, come together quite often, because if you do not, the enemy will come in. And that is, again, a hard sell, because here we thinking, see, I think marriage is, it fools some people. When we get married, we don't think we have to do the stuff we did before we got married. Before we got married, you were taking me out on dates. Before we got married, you were buying me gifts. Before we got married, you were telling me how beautiful I was. Before we married, we were staying on the phone all night. We was FaceTime. It was like we was in a long distance relationship. You just lived across town, but we was doing all the things. We're date night and you cash apping and all this stuff. As soon as you get married, we don't have to do any of that. Why? Because we live in the same house. We can now do all the physical things we want. And I don't have to try to perform for you to get you to choose me over other people. You've already chosen. I'm the one. And that's a dangerous place to be, because I still need to be appealing to my spouse. I tell people, especially women, I don't tell men, but I tell women, because I hope men don't do this. I'm like, you cannot always be the president of the Yoga Pants Club committee. I mean, you cannot. Do you ever get dressed? Do you ever put on a makeup or smell good? Y'all, I didn't wear perfume for a long time, because for me, it set off my asthma. It set off the asthma, right? It just made, I would wheeze really bad. For a long time, I couldn't wear deodorant, because anything with a high smell would just make me wheeze. And when I start wheezing, the asthma's there, the attack is on, and it's bad. Well, I just begin to ask the Lord to help me with all that. I don't need any of that. And so recently, as I am getting into my latter years, and I'm asking the Lord to send me a spouse, and I am asking the Lord to revitalize and rejuvenate me and help give me long life on the back end, so my latter days are better than my greater days. I now do a lot of stuff I didn't do. I wear perfume, and I wear a lot of it. It don't set off nothing. I'm like, thank you, Lord. Why? Because I'm trying to be attractive. I'm trying to be attractive, and I hope to attract. And once he gets here, you don't stop doing all that stuff. You keep doing it. That's what keeps bringing him home every night. What you were doing in the very beginning. We got married, honey. We was on a honeymoon for a whole year, just on the honeymoon. That second year, oh no, we honeymoon over. Honeymoon is always. I'm never getting off my honeymoon. I'm telling whoever, if I can't be on a honeymoon forever, don't marry me. Because I am giddy, I am blissful, I am laying back in the lap of luxury. I'm having all the intimate relations I want to have, because it's been a minute. I'm doing all the things. I'm calling you on your phone. I'm sending you messages and suggestions. I'm sending all that to my husband. But we get married and we don't do anything. We barely get up out the bed. I knew this person, and I always have to ask the Lord to help me not judge people, because I be mad. You got a whole husband and kids. and your house is tore up. He works. You don't. He works a job. He lets you stay home. Well, I got the kids. Understandable. I got that. But put them on a schedule. We do this at this time, this at this time, this at this time. And when they get old enough to help, make them help. Because then you're going to teach them how to take care of their stuff. But I remember going over to that to visit with the wife one particular day. And I stepped in the front door. Y'all, I just went from the screen door across the threshold, and the smell of trash hit me. And I'm thinking, surely. And the trash can was just off the porch, right? 6 steps at best. And I know if you didn't change it for me, you definitely are not going to change it for your husband, because he already familiar to the nose blind, because it's like that every day. How dare you? How dare you? If you get to stay home and the rest of us out here working the job, you get to stay home. And that man, let me tell you something. His dinner should be ready. His clothes should be clean, folded, hung up, however he like it. The kids should be clean, with faces looking half decent when he come home. That if you homeschooling, they should be schooled by the time he get home, so we ain't trying to school. After that, we want to have family time. And if you choosing to have family time, at least clean up a little bit. Pick up every now and then. I saw one lady on this social platform. Her house is a mess. It's a mess. And again, that bothers me, because my grandmother did not let us do that. We had to clean. We were up at 6:30 every morning. Didn't matter if it was summer, winter, fall, whatever. We was cleaning. And she says, well, I didn't want to do anything because I wanted to spend time with my family and with my husband. Yet you have eaten 75 meals, and all the dishes are now spread across the house. You left them in the living room. They're in the bedroom. You got food underneath what is that? In this particular day for tomorrow, love is responsible. All of us have a role to play in our marriages. All of us. Some of us are the breadwinners. Unfortunately, the way it is now, women sometimes make more than men. It used to be back in the old days, the men made all the money, the women stayed home. That's not what it is right now. Sometimes the woman makes more and the man stays home. I don't understand that dynamic. That's not my jam, but whatever, right? Or the husband is supposed to go work, yet he on the video games all day. He don't have a job. What is that? Where did that come from? We forget what God has ordained us to do in these marriages. And because you forget, or sometimes we cross roll, right? The woman is trying to be the man, and the man is evidently the woman. I don't even know how that worked, but it worked for some folks. So we forget what we're supposed to do, and now we start telling them how they're supposed to be doing it. We forgot our stuff. Right? That is an issue. We're all responsible to the Lord, first of all, because we stood before him and said, Shakima, agreed to do all these things. And we're wrong in the eyes of our spouse. We said to him, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to have your children. I'm going to make sure your home is well. I'm going to make sure your meals are cooked, or whatever you agreed to. Some people don't agree to that. But whatever y'all agree to, you agreed. And then you don't hold up your end of the deal. Right? And then you want to blame him, or you want to blame her when everything goes wrong. No. What did you not do? See, all of us have a role. I did not come home every night. I did not do my wifely duties. I didn't bring the money home. Whatever the case is, whatever you can say for you, you know you didn't do. Now you're at fault, and you have to get that thing right. Tomorrow's called an apology day. He says God has designed his gift of marriage with many priceless benefits. Research shows, now this was interesting. He says research shows that married people are happier, healthier, live longer, make more money, and have better intimate lives than any people that choose to stay single. Now he says choose, right? Some of us are single and we didn't choose this. So I don't think he's including us. It's those people who just don't want to get married. I get it. I want to get married. I just haven't at this point, or at this moment. I believe the Lord has something for me, the greatest thing for me. I ask God to send me his best son. Send me the best one you got, God. Okay? The best one. That's the one I want. I don't care. He ain't got to look like Idris. He ain't got to have muscles like, no, I want the best one you got. The one that treats me like I am a queen. The one that not that I need queen treatment. And not that I'm not going to treat him like he's a king, but the one who knows me, who wants to know me, who wants to be with me, warts and all. Send me that one. And then my plan, even though I work, I believe in traditional gender roles. So I will cook the meals. I will make sure that his laundry is done and the house is clean. That's my reasonable service. And here's what I tell other people. Listen, you may not have that thing for cleaning, right? That may not be your jam. But I knew a person that did not love to clean their house, just house trash. And they got a dog and dog hair everywhere. I'm like, Lord Jesus, I don't know how you doing this. So I said to them, why is this like this? They said, well, I don't love cleaning. I said, well, here's what I need you to do. Consider this. Why don't you make house cleaning a line item in your budget? You don't want to do it, and somebody out there needs the income. So why don't you plan some extra money in your budget so that that person who needs the income can come and do the work you don't want to do? And that person implemented that immediately. They was like, oh, that's a good idea. I never thought about that. Right. Immediately, they implemented that strategy. And can I tell you, even though they didn't clean the house themselves, the house was still clean. So however you want to do it, I may not need to go out a couple nights a week, baby. Just get me a Molly maid for 3 hours or whatever the case is, because that's going to help me, right? So remember, even if you don't want to do it, what's your strategy for helping somebody else do it? Or what's the strategy for getting it done? You may not do it, but it's going to get done some type of a way. He says they also produce healthier, happier children than people who remain single. Do you realize how much value your spouse adds to your life? I don't think we do. We don't think they add anything. What we spend time doing, especially after we are done with them, is we spend time telling people how much they've taken away from us. Can you not imagine what the right, see, and again, it's about that right thing, right? It's about choosing. Single women, we get a choice. We get to choose now. We don't have to pick everything moving. We ain't desperate. Ain't nobody thirsty over here. We are well quenched. Our thirst has been quenched. We ain't thirsty. We get to choose, right? So how the benefits that your spouse brings into your life. We're getting ready to have a storm. A massive storm is what it's looking like to be 8 to 13 inches of snow. Our little part of North Carolina right over here is like the worst. It's the most severe. I'm like, why you gotta get us? Just go over there. But so I was in the car with my coworkers earlier today. We were going around we were working off campus today. We were just driving around doing stuff. And one of my coworkers, she picked up her phone and she called her husband. She's like, okay, well, I need you to make sure you get the propane. And I need you to make sure you get this. And I need to make sure you get this. And you want to go to the grocery store for me? Okay, this is what I need, blah, blah, blah. And she got off the phone and I said, this is why we don't want to be single. Because I don't have anybody to call to check my propane. I don't have anybody to call and say, can you go to the grocery store for me? If the propane get checked, I got to do it. If the groceries get bought, I got to go get them. If this gets paid, I got to work for the money to get it paid. There's so much of a benefit having that extra person. And it's not just for them to fill space. I need you here to help strengthen my brain, stretch me, ask me questions, get me thinking. I need a man to make love to me here before he do anything else. Like, make love to my mind. Let me know you're a genius. You're brilliant. That was the best. I ain't never heard an answer like that in my life. That was brilliant. Right? I need you to connect with me here before anything else happens. That's what I'm saying. So think about the benefits that your spouse brings to you. Positive married people, they don't get sick. They just happy that life is good. You got endorphins and all the oxytocins and all the other ocins that they got out there just coursing through your body. And you just feel great and amazing. You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm awake. And people who are miserably married don't want to get out the bed in the morning. They just don't want to get out the bed because we have failed to see the benefit of having this person in our lives. I told somebody else, and I try to tell people quite often different things that I think are helpful. I'm paying all my bills at this house. My husband was paying all his bills at his house. Once we get together and we're in one house, we should just increase our income by at least half. Why? Because we don't have two sets of bills anymore. We just have one. So my income now can go into the family pot or the pay off his debt pot or the pay off the car pot or whatever it is. But we don't do that because we want to be like everybody else. So we keep spending. Like, I got all this money over here because he's paying all the bills. And then what happens is we're unbalanced. He's put out because he's working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week trying to keep up with your spending habits. And you're mad because he's working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week and he ain't never home. So if we get it all together and we're like, okay, babe, what's our allowance for? He ain't gonna give me no allowance. Maybe you need one because you overspend. You're responsible for the household income. Everything that he puts into that household income should then be used to pay everything you have to pay. Dave Ramsey said before he started doing Total Money Makeover, him and his wife, they were like really scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to pay stuff. And she was trying to go to the grocery store one day, and he was like, well, how much do you need? She said, I need $500 to get the groceries. He said, I'm gonna give you $600, and that's all you're getting for this month. That's it. There is no more. So he gave her the $600, and what she did, because she was responsible, this was her responsibility, she took that money and she divided it every which way but loose and decided, hey, I can do this much this week, this much next week, this much this week, and this, I got 4 weeks. Let me split it in half, $150 every week. And they had groceries. And that worked out so well. He was like, okay, well, next month you're going to get $600 and you're going to do what you're supposed to do with that income. Whatever my role is, whatever my husband gives me to do or asks me to do, or whatever I say to him I'm going to do, then I need to make sure that I do those things. I can't expect him to do what I said I was going to do. And he can't expect me to do what he said he was going to do. But there are moments when we do have to cross each other. If he's sick, he's not feeling well, I can't expect him to get up from his sick bed and go fill my car up. I can fill my own car up. But if he's well, and he doesn't want me to touch the gas, I'm fine with that. You go do it. That's perfect for Shakima. But if he's not able, right, then we step in. Don't ever forget your role. Okay, I'm gonna move on because I talked too much. I said I wasn't gonna be up here long. It's already 26 minutes. Y'all ain't loyal. Okay. But as with anything in life, the benefits we enjoy in marriage depend on how responsible we are in taking good care of it. That's why taking personal responsibility is one of love's greatest requests. Taking responsibility is very unpopular because I don't want to take responsibility for my part of the problem. I don't want to take the responsibility for my part of the failed marriage. I don't want to take my responsibility or my role in our being in debt. I don't want that. I want to blame you. If you had just worked more. No, if you had just spent less. See, it's not just them. Sometimes it's you. We ask each other, or we ask people, why did he cheat? Now, I'm not telling you that some people ain't dogs, men or women, whoever's out there cheating, shame on you. And may a plague, never mind. Okay. I've already sent out some plagues today. Y'all pray for me. But so why is he cheating? Some people just have a wandering eye. I get it. But some women or some men, depending on whoever's responsible for whatever, are not doing what they're supposed to do in the marriage bed, right? They're not doing what they're supposed to do as far as keeping their husband's eye. Again, the chief of the yoga pants committee, he don't want to see that. He just don't. I mean, it might be good while the kids are awake, but when the babies go to bed, look, do something else. Do something else. She might not want to see the dad bod. How about go to the gym? Because the person her eye looking at, he is muscular, popping out everywhere. See, we got to be responsible, and we got to keep ourselves together to keep the eyes of our spouse on us. That's what I'm saying. I had one girl, she said, well, my husband want me to twerk. Then, baby, learn how to do it. I mean, that's your husband. It ain't like some random person asked you to do it. This your man. Well, I just don't want, okay, fine. You don't have to. But what you don't do, somebody else will. And I'm not saying that as a threat, but what I'm saying is you better realize that somebody else will be, they are very glad to do what you want. Remember the movie Fences? Was it with Denzel Washington, Viola Davis? And he said to the wife, you know, she said, don't go tonight. He said, I'm not gonna not go over there, because when I go over there, I don't have no problems. I don't have to think, I don't have to do anything. I like how I feel when I'm with her. What would it be? What would it do to you if your spouse said, I like how I feel when I'm with somebody else? I don't like how I feel when I'm with you. What did I miss? How did I miss that, God? How did I skip that part? How did I not understand until it was too late that he didn't like being with me? He didn't feel like he was free to be himself with me. What did I put on him? What stipulations? What heavy weight did I put on this man that he doesn't feel like he can be himself, enjoy his life when he's with me? Something is wrong. And I got to be the one to take responsibility for the wrongness that I did. Now, I'm not saying everything is my fault, but I'm sure there's some fault there. When people tell you what you have done, or they're saying this, and this, and I know all of us want to say, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. But sometimes you do have to take what they're saying with a grain of salt, and you gotta work through it to figure out, is there any truth to any of this? Because there might be. You spend more time at your mama house than you spend at our house. Do you? From the time you wake up until your husband come home, you at your mama house? Yes, you do. Well, my mother need me. She's old and blah, blah, blah. No, you just need to sit over there and gossip with your mama. That's the problem. So he may be right in some things. We don't want to see that, because again, we want to be absolved of our responsibility, but that's not how it always works. I need to be able to see what I did. And then he talks about this on the page. Yes, that's right. Tap them hearts and like the video, share, do all things. He talks about this. He said, we have to be grown enough. I'm going to say grown enough, right? We got to be grown enough to apologize. Remember that there's a reel going out. Everybody grown until it's time to apologize, right? We all grown until I got to come to you and ask for your forgive because I have done something. I have created an alt against you. That's again a hard sell to think that it was me, but sometimes it is you. Understand that they are not always at fault. Could be a good bit of the time, could be most of the time, but at some point you have had your role to play. Again, I was a perfect wife, except on the days I wasn't a perfect wife, and there was some days, not many, because I really, really love being married. I enjoyed the institution of marriage, but I didn't get my hair done cute. I didn't wear makeup at that time. I didn't know about it. My grandparents never let us do any of those types of things. I didn't have cute clothes. I was fat. It was all the things. And my husband could have loved me fat, but I didn't love me fat. So if I don't love me, there's no way he gonna love me, because if I don't love what I look like, I'm not gonna stand naked and unashamed. I'm not. As I have gone through the process of working my body and getting in the gym and trying to eat as healthy as I can and shrinking down about 70 pounds, I feel a little better about it, right? I wear makeup now. I wear smell goods. I wear cute clothes. Yes. Baby, you like this? You like any of this? You don't like any of that? Okay, that's out. We can't wear none of that. He don't like none of that. You like this stuff over here? Very good. I'll wear more of that. You shouldn't have to do any of those things, right? I know you shouldn't. I know you think you shouldn't, but guess what? Sometimes we got to do it. Moving on. Okay. He says, each marriage is a living garden placed under the care of the husband and the wife, right? We talked about gardens before. You have to tend the garden. If you do not tend the garden, do not expect anything to come up. And if it does, it's just a fluke. If something comes up, it's just a fluke. But if you tend that garden, if you fertilize, if you water, if you sprinkle seeds, if you pull the weeds, something will grow. And guess what? It will keep producing. Tomato season can start, I think we start like March, April, maybe April, May, and it goes all the way to October, November, December here in North Carolina, because our climate is right. And if you tend it, it just keeps producing. Well, you can do something called overwinter, which is pull the plant up, put it in a pot, put it in a nice warm greenhouse where it's going to stay warm. It's not going to die. And next season, plant it again and it'll produce again, right? I've taken care of this. I've made sure it was in the right environment. I made sure it had the right temperature. I made sure it had the right amount of food. I made sure it got watered on time. And what happens when you water your garden is it produces. It's the same in your marriage. Thank you, Holy Spirit. When you water your marriage, however you need to do it, I don't know what your marriage is like. I can't tell you. But when you water your marriage, what I'm telling you is it will produce all of the things it should. And that's why husband and wife have to come together and agree. This is what I agree to do in this marriage. Well, he want me to do blah, blah, blah. Okay, then maybe you should say, baby, listen, I'm not real comfortable with that, but I can do this. Whatever it is, he may not want you to work. You've known work your whole life. So here's what I'm going to say, because my husband can tell me tomorrow I don't have to go to work. And guess what I'm going to do? Be home. But here's the thing. If you've worked your whole life and now this man is saying, Baby, you don't have to work. Compromise is exactly right. You don't have to work, but y'all still have debt, right? We got $100,000 worth of debt. He's telling me I don't have to stay home. Now he's going to pay all the bills plus try to get this debt paid. I don't think it's going to happen. So this is what you could do. You could go to your husband and say, babe, listen, I understand and I appreciate the fact that you want me to stay home, but I'm going to ask you if I will be allowed to do this. So we still have $100,000 worth of debt. If you'll let me work and I'll put all of my earnings towards the debt, and then when we get that debt paid off, I will be happy to stay at home. That's a compromise. He might be thinking, you know what, I really want you to be home, but if I keep working for a few year or two more, you won't have to work as much. I don't want your body broke down by the time you turn 50. I want you to be as healthy as you can, and I want to be able to help with that. And so sometimes you got to frame that thing so they understand I'm not trying to usurp your authority, but there's some wisdom in here that we need to think about. And I know you want me to stay home because your brother's wife stays home, but that's not my life. I need to make sure that I'm helping you take care of us. Right? I know that's right. Yolanda said we really have to make sure that life does not overrule us. That's the truth. Whatever it is. And again, every marriage is different. But every garden is operated by the same principle. Whether your marriage is different or not, you still have to water it. You still have to pluck up the weeds. You still have to fertilize. You still have to prune. Sometimes you have to prune a plant way back in order for it to produce way more. And I hate pruning. I do not like pruning my plants. But what I learned last year is when I have low level leaves. Now I had tomato plants that were over 6 feet tall. They started out like this. Tiny. Me and my kid, and I grew those from seed. I grew those myself. Thank you very much. And listen, my kids, we dug a little hole and put it in. And those things grew so tall. I had to get my lawn guy to put an arbor over it so I could attach the root. The vines, the arms to the thing because it was so heavy with tomatoes. And I hate to prune. But what I noticed is underneath the bottom of the plant, because the arms were so heavy, they were on the soil. And when I would water, they would get, the water would get on the leaves and it would cause a disease called sepia. Now, it won't hurt you to eat a tomato that has sepia, but it just makes your plant look really nasty. It looks brown and yellow and blah, blah, blah. It's not cute. So what I decided was I'm going to remove all those bottom leaves because I don't want that disease to climb up my plant. And even though I hate to prune, when I would take all those bottom leaves out, what happens is the airflow was better. So all the air could get, nothing was smothering out. It could all the roots could breathe, all the leaves could breathe. And I had more tomatoes on those plants than if I would have, because I didn't want to prune it, right? I left them up there. It was more hazardous to leave it there. So get them out of there. Get the stuff out that doesn't need to be in there. Sometimes we got to prune us. There's some things in me, Lord, that I need to get rid of. There's some things about me, Lord, that I'm not proud of. There's some things about me, Lord, that make him not want to be here with me. Lord, can you just, again, show me me? That's the biggest prayer you could ever pray in your marriage. Outside of praying for your spouse. Yes, I'm going to pray for him. But I'm going to get to him, God, but I need to get me together first. That's why the single season, thank you, Holy Spirit, the single season is very important. And I don't like being single. I've been single 16 and a half years. I'm counting up my time, y'all, because it has been rough. But these 16 and a half years have given me time to do what, Shakima? Work on me, figure out what I like, because if I know what I like, I don't have to wait on him to make me happy. I appreciate when he reaches out and tries to make me happy, but I don't have to wait on him, because if he don't do it, I'm going to be unhappy. That's not how I'm living. I am content in myself. So I've learned how to work on me. I have learned how to do things on my own. I've learned how to take responsibility for my wrongs, because I ain't got nobody else to blame. If it go wrong, it's definitely my fault. That's all I'm saying. If it goes wrong, it's definitely my fault. I've learned how to speak when I should. Don't say anything when I shouldn't. I've learned how not to judge other people because I've asked God to show me me. And here's the truth. I'm too much of a project to be worrying about other folks anyway. I am too much of a project to be worrying about other people anyway. Stop pointing the fingers at other folks and start deciding it is me sometimes. Is nothing wrong with taking on that truth because it is you sometimes. 40 minutes. Y'all, why y'all let me tell you? He says, it is foolish, for example, for a man to desire healthy children and great intimacy in the bedroom, but not lift a finger to help his wife around the house or with training the kids. Once you have a kid, it's now our responsibility both to train them. Because if not, if the mama trains the kid, then that, especially if it's a son, may have more feminine-like tendencies. The daughter won't ever know what a man is supposed to love like or treat her like because dad don't have anything to do with the kids. Everybody is helping with we help to get them and we gonna help to raise them. And if you don't want to help to raise them, then don't help to get them. Now, I don't know necessarily, I agree with this, helping to clean the house. If you just keep your stuff together. If I'm too tired or whatever the case, you can do the dishes tonight. I'm not saying that's every night because I know some people that want it every night. Every night for the husband to do, he done worked all day and he still got to come home. There was a group of people on here on TikTok, Wavy and whatever her husband was. I don't know what their names are, but the house is tore up. She laying in the bed eating pizza. She got roaches and he just cleaning up everything. I'm like, Lord, what in the world is this? I don't know how. And every day it looks the same. Every day. I'm not living in roaches for you or for views. Not Shakima. Miss me with that. Okay, he says, it is foolish for a woman to hope for financial stability in a happy marriage, but then spend without boundaries and refuse to meet her husband's intimate needs. Again, they got the needs they have. What we should do is try to meet them. And again, some people are a bit extreme. So you might have to have a courageous conversation. Say, baby, I'm just not there yet, but I'm here, right? I'm not there, but I need you to work with me. If you work with me, I can get there, or this is as far as I'm willing to go, right? You got to, again, work that out. I don't know how it works for you, but at least have the conversation. Do not ever not talk about it. You got to talk about it, because if he's expecting one thing and you know you're not going to do that thing, you better let him know, because he's going to be disappointed every time. But if you say, babe, I am just not comfortable with this, but if you give me time, I'm working on it. I know for me, my body was a big issue. I hated it. I don't love it right now either, because I still have areas, but I like it a lot better 70 pounds lighter. When I was at 250 pounds, it was a situation. It was a situation for me. There was no day ever that I was going to be comfortable doing anything. And my husband had to deal with that. He did. And it was wrong, because I agreed that he would always have this. He would always have my body, because it doesn't belong to me in marriage. And I reneged on my end of the deal because I didn't take care of myself and I got to 250 pounds. He didn't gain no weight. I did. So that was my bad. So I can't be mad at him. It was me. Okay. All right. He says, how are you doing with honoring what you promised at the altar? That's the ultimate question. All the things you said, right? Go back and think about those vows. I was going to pull them up, but everybody's vows ain't the same. You promised that I would love you and cherish you and honor you and obey you. I saw one lady, the preacher was asking her, say obey. She said, I'm not saying that. In the middle of the wedding ceremony, in front of all the guests, I'm not saying that. Okay, sir, you have heard before you say I do, because he ain't got to you yet. She's not going to obey you. You decide if you want that or not. And if you choose, don't be mad because you accepted her disobedience. She ain't going to obey you. That's it. How are you doing at honoring what you said at the altar? Is your marriage blooming under your care or wilting instead? Again, have you tended your garden? A good garden, and I'm a novice gardener. I think I've been gardening about 5 or 6 years now, maybe 5, 6, I don't know. But I'm still a novice. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm going to get out there every year and try. I'm going to research. I'm going to do all the things. I'm interneting. I'm trying to call friends. I'm doing everything I need to do to try to make sure that my garden produces. But half of us don't do anything we need to do to make sure that our marriage produces. There are resources for your marriage. There's therapy for your marriage. There's retreats for your marriage. I saw people go into a retreat and they was doing a little reel and it was like 52 years married. We've been married for 2 weeks. All the people go to a retreat. Get with other married people. Go see how you stayed married for 50 years. Because you don't quite know. You only been married for 5 days and you ready to get out. Go and invest in your marriage. What is it going to hurt to spend a little extra money on the marriage once a year to take you and your spouse away just on vacation? We just need a week. A weekend just not going to do it. Can I promise you, by the time you get there on a Friday night, all you have, you go to bed, you got Saturday all day, you got to leave on a Sunday. You ain't really done nothing. You could have saved that money. But if we can go and get away for a week, 5 nights, 6 days, 4 nights, 5 days, whatever the case is, I need to be able to let my hair down. I need to be able to express myself. I need to not have somebody calling me, pulling at me every 10 minutes. Mama, 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 mama. Right now, I'm wife. Right now, I'm lover. Right now, I am confidant. Right now, I am friend. Come on, y'all. Get on board. Do it. And watch how your marriage flourishes. I'm telling you, if you just looked at your marriage as a garden, go and figure out when I have to plan out my garden. I do what's called square foot gardening. I divide everything up into 12 by 12 by 12. It's a foot around. And I can only plant however much of this thing can go in that foot. Anything more is going to knock off my production. What are you planting in your marriage? Who are you planting in your marriage? How many people are included in your marriage? Because some of us include a lot of people that don't need to be there. Moving on. Okay. Is your marriage blooming under your care or wilting? Are you making your spouse carry all the weight, or are you looking for ways to lighten their load? I know that it is his responsibility to work. We all know that. Masculine men, they don't have no problem providing for their women. They do not have a problem. Can I help you understand? They do not have a problem providing for their women. So don't think you got to man up and bring your little coins to the table. He really don't want them. Not a masculine man. If you do it, he might be all right with it, but he don't need you. Okay? So whatever I'm doing is over and above what he's doing. We should be soaring. We should be just living the high life. That doesn't mean having all the things. It means all the bills are paid, all the needs are met. We got investments. We on vacation. We doing all the things. If people look at y'all like, oh, y'all think y'all have arrived. No, we haven't arrived. We just figured out how to work our garden. We have not arrived. We're on our way, but we figured out how to nurture. We figured out how to prune. We figured out how to plant some more and take some away. We figured out what weeds needed to come and what weeds needed to go. We figured it out. If you look at it that way, it makes it so much easier for you to deal with the hard times because we're pulling together. You cannot put an ox and an ass together. You cannot. Listen to Shakima, okay? You cannot put an ox and an ass together. They cannot pull. First of all, they cannot pull the same load. Second of all, you have oxes that are supposed to pull the most load. When you have an ox and an ass going to get, that's a donkey. When you have an ox and a donkey going in the same direction, somebody's pulling way more. The donkey can't even keep up because I can't pull the weight. But I put 2 ox together and they're going to be able to pull at the same pace, the same rate. They can carry the same weight. Put 2 donkeys together and they're going to be able to do their job more effectively. But when one is the ox and one is the ass, y'all going to have problems every time. Every time. You ain't going to get nowhere. I'm trying to go left. You trying to go right. You're never going to get anywhere. So why don't we, at the very least, get somebody that's compatible to us? Because some of us are yoked up with the wrong person. That's the truth. Now, some of y'all married, you can't get out of that. Just saying. So y'all better adjust and adapt to who you got. But us single folks, we get to choose. We get to choose. And I'm telling you right now, I am so choicey. Oh, no. That don't look like nothing I'm trying to do. If you got a whole lot going on, don't miss me. Miss Shakim. I don't want little kids. If you have little children, that means you have little children, baby mama problems. And I don't need any of that. Under 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, my son is 16. Under that, you got a lot of problems. Because I still have to deal with my baby daddy. You got I don't want none of that smoke. That's not me. I'm so far into the empty nest. I ain't even got there yet. But I'm so far there already. I need that. But somebody who's just, I know I'm not having any more children, and that's all he wants is children. That's an ox and an ass. Y'all, come on. There's not going to be another child to come out of this womb. First of all, I ain't got one. I got rid of it a long time ago. Now, you want all the things. I don't want any of the things. None of them. You better get somebody who wants what you want. Because if not, you're going to have problems. That's my little tidbit. You're welcome. Love calls us to take full responsibility for our partner in a marriage, to love them, to cherish them, to help them. But that's not all. Love also compels us to take responsibility for something else in the marriage. That's what you did wrong. What you need to do is you need to be able to apologize. Love does not blame. It doesn't pass the blame or justify the wrong. It doesn't make excuses. Instead, it faces the reality about areas of personal weakness and failure that need to be willingly addressed. I know that I have areas of flaw. I do. I don't do everything right. I want to think so. I want to think I'm perfect. I have a perfectionist complex. I have had it. The Lord has delivered me from that. I don't have to have everything perfect now, but I have had that in the past. And I'm not perfect. Jesus is. He lives in me. And even though he lives in me, I still make mistakes all the time. I know my limits. So I'm not trying to sell you something, a picture of perfection, because that's not it. Why y'all think I got this hat on? Because my hair is not looking the way it's, honey, it ain't perfect today. But that's okay. We're going to be off work on Monday, and I got a hair appointment on Wednesday. Jesus! Y'all might see this a couple more days, but that's okay. I know I'm not perfect. So I don't even try to come off as that. And when I have done something wrong, here's what I've learned how to do. I've said, I understand that I did this and it was not what I should have done. Would you please forgive me? Now they get a choice whether they want to forgive or not. If they forgive, y'all can move on in happy harmony. If they don't, then you just going to have to let them not and keep on moving. I did my part. I sincerely came to you and I asked you to forgive me because I really meant that from the bottom of my heart. Maybe I didn't know I was doing it wrong. And even if I did know and it hurt, I should still go back and say, you know what? I did that on purpose. I'm so sorry. I had intended to do that the whole time. Will you forgive me? And mean that thing. You got to mean that thing in your heart. Sometimes people don't forgive us because we don't mean it. We don't mean it. You're just trying to check your box. Lord, I asked them to forgive. I asked them, but did you mean it? And people can tell when you mean it or not. You know, they know you. Like, you didn't mean that. You just saying that. You just want to get in good with the Lord. And guess what? We ain't in good. You have to really sincerely mean what you're saying. And you pray and hope that they will accept your apology. And they will extend mercy and grace to you the same way you do it to them when they apologize to you. That's what love is. Marriage is give and take. Baby, sometimes you wrong, sometimes I'm wrong. But guess what? We're going to come together. We're going to say we wrong and we're going to make it right. If we could get in partnership with our spouse and stop competing with them or stop trying to be like them over there. You don't know what's going on behind them doors. We were the perfect married couple in public. People never saw a hair out of place. Our children were always. My husband would not allow for us to go out looking crazy. Period. At 250 pounds, I still had to look good when I was going to church. He wasn't going to allow me to go out there looking no type of way. But when we got home, there was so much dysfunction on the other side of that door that I didn't even want to live there. And he didn't live there. He lived in the bedroom. The kids and I lived in the house. He would go in the room and stay there by himself, play video games or go to bed. I don't know, whatever he would do. He didn't invite us in. But we were on the outside. You would have never knew nothing was wrong. People thought we were the creme de la creme, and we wasn't. So you don't know what's going on behind somebody else's doors, and you're not responsible for that. What you are responsible for is what goes on in your four walls. And you can have the most perfect marriage for you and your spouse. It may not work for me and mine, but whatever's working for you and yours, keep doing that. And a lot of that is humility. A lot of that is going and saying, babe, I did it wrong. I'm so sorry. Will you please forgive me? I didn't mean that. I know I stepped across this line or this boundary that we put in place. I know I did. And I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking. I was trying to go get the bag or whatever the case is. I'm sorry. You asked me not to do this. And I did it anyway. I was showing a friend of mine a dress that I had on. A dress I was trying to wear to my dad is their church anniversary for ministry is coming up in March. And I was trying to get an opinion on this dress. And so I put the dress on and I couldn't get the back together because I'm missing I bought it at the thrift store and I'm missing the ribbon that goes in the back. So I didn't want to turn around, but I showed the front. I had on all the jewelry and all the things. And they were like, oh, that's pretty. I love that. Turn around. Let me see the back. I said, I'm not turning around because it's not together. They said, I asked you to turn around. And so I did. I mean, it was covered up enough. I turned around, but I didn't want to do it. But they asked. I asked for their opinion. They gave me the opinion on the front part, but they wanted to see the whole thing so they could give a valid opinion on everything. I didn't want to do that. And they said, I asked you. I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll turn around. It's fine. And then they gave me their critique that I love it. And I tried on another one. I don't really like that one. This one makes you look this way and blah, blah, blah. That's okay. It's nice, but it's not as nice as this. And so they were able to give me that constructive criticism and I was able to make a choice. I still get the choice. Okay. All right. Let's move on to your dare. Okay. Let me see. This is what he said. I want to just say this. Apologies bring amazing breakthroughs. They can tear down walls of resistance, rebuild relational bridges, unclog pipelines of communication, and reignite feelings of affection. Even if your spouse is 90% wrong, the sooner you offer a genuine apology for your 10%, the quicker the healing can begin and things can get back on track. He might be all the way wrong, and I'm just a little bit right. But listen, I'm gonna do my part. He says, if your heart is sincere, you may be surprised at the grace and strength he gives you when you take this step. Taking responsibility is always the loving thing to do. Your dare for tomorrow, day 26. Take time to pray through your areas of responsibility and your areas of wrongdoing. Where you have failed, ask for God's forgiveness. Then humble yourself enough to admit them to your spouse. Do it sincerely and truthfully. Ask your spouse for forgiveness as well. No matter how they respond, make sure you cover your responsibility in love. Tomorrow is a humility day. You're going to take a look at you. Ask the Lord, God, show me. That's a real prayer. It may not seem like it did a whole lot, but when you ask, he will show you and he'll be encouraged. You might have to hold on to something because he might show you some stuff you don't think is there. But he knows you inside and out. He knows you better than anybody else, even your spouse. And your spouse should know everything about you. But he knows even the most intimate, deepest, and darkest. And so you ask him in humility, God, show me Shakima. And when he does, you need to start making some corrections. You talk too quick. You don't listen enough. You're quick to pop off. He got a list. And I'm like, dog, I can't even keep up. He got so much stuff. Can I just work on one thing? And if he gives you a list and you just work on one thing, at least you're improving. And every so often, pick another thing. When you have mastered this, pick something else. And that's how it goes. Because that's what your spouse deserves. That's what your marriage, if you are married, and I love all y'all, if you are married, your marriage deserves this chance. It deserves this moment in time. It deserves for you to go and say, I'm sorry in humility and mean that thing. Because that could heal. That could tear down walls. That could break the back of Satan trying to get up in your marriage, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. I'm praying for all of us. I'm praying for those of us who desire marriage and we haven't been married yet. You understand what I'm saying? I'm praying that before he comes, we are getting ourselves together. And again, I'm sowing in because I'm planning to reap back what I'm sowing. All this time I'm giving, I pray the Lord gives me just that much time back with my spouse. All this that I'm pouring in, I pray the Lord be able to send us to a retreat so somebody can pour into us. I do. I'm praying for you guys. There it is, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I am praying for your marriages. I want you to pray for them as hard as I am. Or pray for them harder than me because I'm not married to your man. Join me tomorrow night for Love Encourages. Love Encourages is day 27. We're going to prep for that. Now, here's what I have to say. We are facing a very big storm here in our area. There may be power outages. If I am not live tomorrow, it is because the power is out. My prayer is, Lord, let my power stay on. But I don't know that to be true. So if I'm not here tomorrow night, it's just because the power is out. Y'all, I'm on Eastern North Carolina. I'm on the coast. And if you go and look, we're supposed to get hit the hardest tomorrow into Sunday. And even, into Monday and Tuesday, we don't know if we're going to be able to, right now we're off of school on Monday. We don't know about Tuesday or the rest of the week. So we're prayerful that, It does not come nigh this dwelling place. And we keep all our utilities on here in Jesus' name. I love you guys. I'm praying for you all. Please pray for us in Jesus' name. Join me back tomorrow for day 27. I thank y'all so much for stopping by. Like the video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye now. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining me. See y'all later. Bye, y'all. Okay. All right.